Hi, welcome to an update. You seen me describe how you can turn or make a soldering iron stand, soldering iron holder. And I've done this one out of a doorstop, and I did make a bigger one, which is there out of a pipe bender. Now this one, I've gone a bit further. I didn't film any of it. I've screwed one of these tip cleaners, screw straight down in the centre, and got a lid. That was fairly cheap off eBay. I got a pipe tube, not pipe, sorry, cigar tube. This on here is just, I keep forgetting to take this off. I put this on to hold them together, this tape, tape off, because they're well and truly glued together, because it's got epoxy resin down both sides and held in with epoxy resin. A bracket, L-shaped bracket, nut and bolt through the middle, just to hold a spool on. Lolly stick with a hole, small hole. I think it's about a, I think that is about a 3mm hole. It can be done smaller. I drilled a hole in the bottom, put a thicker screw in. I drilled a 2mm hole and I put a 3mm screw in, and it split it, but it works. One of these oil pipes for your clamping needs to be glued in. Well, when I get my epoxy out again, I shall do it. Drilled a 12mm hole in the bottom, threaded it in. No need to thread it first, it just screws in. It's quite loose, so I super glued it in. If you remember, I got this tin and I'll call it a TS100, even though it isn't. It's the SQ something, SQ not 8, can't remember the number. But I don't even think it's got it on. Still a 17 to 65 watt, 12 to 24, and the plug socket, my little holder as well, and there's, turn that up, there's my 24 volts that I'll power it with. It's just put on there. Now in this tub here I made, or making, you've got, it's about 50-50 of crushed up rosin or resin, pine resin, and IPA, isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Mix them together. Every now and again I've got to stir it, and as you can see, it's not long been stirred. I stirred it earlier. It takes time. It turns into this, and when you go in, and it's sticker and gooey and it's flux, and it does well. I bought a couple of small screw-on lid tins for them. This one I melted an old thick solder roll, you know, the bobbins, like this one, like that one. This one's flux cord, but I had one which wasn't flux cord, so I cut it up, melted it all down into one lump, and then I use the little sander on a Dremel and I sand it down, grind it so it's like a powder, mix that in there, and that is citric acid. Mix that in there. That's another tip cleaner. I've got this tip cleaner. Oh, and if you leave your tip in there too long, oh, it don't half stink, because you can smell the acid in it. And I had a hearing aid years ago, never did wear it, didn't like it, and that's what it came in. Just a plastic tub, and I don't know where I got it from. I got it with a soldering iron. I've got a blue sponge. It was really, really like paper thin, and I've wetted it, moistened it, and it fits perfectly in this tub, case, whatever you call it, hearing aid holder. And to go with all this, you send me soldering iron holder. These are latest. All these go in here. There's a USB 5-volt soldering iron. Some people don't like them. That was my first soldering iron that I used after watching videos on YouTube. I soldered and made a clock from eBay, the same as what you get from Banggood and AliExpress. Now I made this. It takes all these. I shan't put them all in because I've got to screw the caps back on, but I'll put them in. Put the little tin back in. This one, fold that down, fold it down in a bit. Now I made this because it goes in here. There's a cupboard made out of pallet wood. No, tell a lie, I made that out of a fence post. All this wood, all of it, even these, are made out of a fence post. I ripped it down to the thickness that you see on my table saw. It was I think it was a 4x4 fence post, and I wanted one with a drawer at the top because this little unit goes in there. I put a plastic riser, can't remember what I call it. I'd done a video earlier, but I dropped my phone on the floor. These are to hold my snips and my strippers, wire strippers. They go in there, just hook on, so they're out the way. There, some plywood. I've got a mobile phone battery, and in that I've encased it in 4 layers of plywood to keep it all together. I've put built a box around it, put it in here, the charger on it. I don't know if you can see well. There's the normal USB and there's the micro USB charging, so I can charge it up. Might sit if I tip it. I don't know if you can see it here. Put a light in it. You can see the two USBs, and plug this in because it's for the soldering iron. When you're soldering, plug that in. I could unplug that, plug me other soldering iron in, and I've got a light. There's a light switch, there's the light. I switch it off and it's just a cob light, hot glued up to the top, and that is all of my cupboard. I'll latch it. Easier to do with two hands. All that, and I made a leather handle with two brass straps drilled, bent with pliers, fitted in, and the handle is flattish. I just cut two squares out, oblongs either side, and can lift it. And I think that is my soldering iron complete now, for its portability and with everything else that goes with it. Thanks for looking. Bye.